One night, a group of friends were camping in a dense forest, several long hours before sunrise. They decided to go for a walk, their path lit only by wavering flashlights. As they walked, they noticed strange shadows moving between the trees. A friend whispered, "Look behind you," and a wave of fear washed over the group. The flashlights trembled, and their heartbeats pounded in their chests. They thought to themselves, if we weren't so scared, we would run back to the tent right now. Suddenly, they saw the glow of their campfire ahead, but the flames were flickering unnaturally. As they got closer, one of them saw a face in the fire and gasped. They screamed in terror, believing it was a spirit. As they scrambled back, they stumbled over their own cooler. The ice inside shifted, revealing their forgotten speaker, still playing a horror movie they had been watching earlier. "If that's the movie," they moaned in despair, "the face was just our reflection." Too late to reclaim their courage, they realized with embarrassment that they were the source of their own fear.
What would you do if a cave's mournful wail called you into the darkness? Dare to join the discussion and unveil its mysteries. I was drawn to the cave like a moth to a flame, a strange excitement making my heart race. The air was thick with silence, broken only by the faint drip of water. The entrance was narrow, almost hidden by overgrown ivy. I pushed through, my flashlight cutting through the shadows. Inside, the cave widened, showing walls covered with ancient symbols. I felt a chill, but my curiosity pushed me deeper. As I went further, a soft, mournful wail reached my ears. Suddenly, my flashlight beam landed on her, a banshee, her ghostly figure floating in the air, her eyes hollow and sorrowful. Her wail grew louder, piercing my soul. I turned to run, but the cave had changed. The entrance was gone, replaced by solid rock. The banshee's cry turned into a creepy laugh. "You sought secrets," she whispered. "Now, you are mine." Panic hit me as I clawed at the walls, looking for an escape that was not there. The banshee floated closer, her cold presence draining my strength. "You will join the others," she murmured. I then saw the faint outlines of faces in the stone, twisted in eternal horror. Desperation turned into grim acceptance. I was trapped, a new victim of the banshee's curse.
The rain pours endlessly, turning the world outside into a shimmering blur of ruins. My footsteps echo through this crumbling dungeon like distant memories. The flickering lights above cast twisting shadows on the walls, whispering secrets I can't quite hear. I don't know why, but something unseen is pulling me deeper, urging me forward.
Arriving at my grandparents' farm, an unsettling feeling gripped me despite the familiar surroundings. Ignoring mornings, I stumbled upon the old well at the edge of the property, its dark depths calling to me. Curiosity overtook me as I leaned closer, hearing chilling whispers. With trembling hands, I descended, the whispers guiding me downward to a dusty old book in a chamber at the bottom. Opening it, I discovered the truth, a portal to another realm where lost souls whispered secrets. Determined to leave, the whispers urged me to stay and uncover more. Back at the farmhouse, my parents dismissed my story. That night, I heard scratching at my window, echoing the whispers from the well. Peering outside, I saw a ghostly figure, a young boy, eyes pleading for release. Driven by fear and determination, I returned to the well, the whispers guiding me. In the chamber, I found the boy, his voice echoing with whispers, urging me to stay forever. Realizing the well was a trap, I struggled to climb out, but darkness pulled me back, sealing my fate as another lost soul. In the end, the whispers of the well claimed me, its secrets forever shrouded in darkness. A dark shape, always just out of sight. I tried to ignore it, thinking it was my imagination. But then, people around me began to die. It started with my cat, Fluffy. Then my best friend, Tom, died in a freak accident. My parents said it was a coincidence, but I knew better. School became a nightmare. My classmates noticed my strange behavior, and rumors spread that I was cursed. One evening, an old woman approached me. "You carry the mark of death," she whispered. "Beware the shadow." She vanished before I could ask more. Desperate, I searched searched for answers. In an old library, I found a journal about a curse passed down through generations. The shadow was an ancient spirit, bound to my family line. Determined to break the curse, I faced the shadow in an abandoned church. "Why me?" I screamed. The shadow, a twisted version of myself, hissed, "Your fear gives me life. You are my vessel." I stepped forward, embracing the shadow. Pain seared through me as it merged into my being. I woke in my room, drenched in sweat. The shadow was gone, but my reflection grinned back, eyes dark and empty. I hadn't banished the shadow, I had become it. Now I wander, bringing doom, seeking the next vessel. The curse never ends.
My eyes locked onto an old mirror hanging crooked on the wall. In the reflection, I saw a warped version of myself, darker, troubled, almost alive. I reached out with trembling fingers and touched the cold surface. A chill ran through my body, colder than the damp air around me. It felt like the mirror knew me, and it wasn't done with me yet.
The door creaked open on its own as I approached, revealing the dark, cluttered room. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. I shone the flashlight around, illuminating the cobweb-covered sewing machine, the bolts of fabric, and then a figure, a pale, ghostly figure standing by the window, its back to me. "Who are you?" I croaked, my voice barely above a whisper. The figure turned slowly, revealing hollow eyes and a gaping mouth, its face twisted and a silent scream. My heart stopped as I recognized her, my wife, or what was left of her. "You left me," she whispered, her voice echoing in my mind rather than
For over 40 years, a monster haunted California, committing at least 13 murders and over 50 rapes. They called him the Golden State Killer, and he seemed to vanish without a trace, leaving a trail of terror that went cold for decades. But science never forgets. In 2018, investigators took a tiny speck of DNA from a crime scene and uploaded it to a public genealogy website. They weren't looking for the killer, but for his relatives. The search led them to a distant cousin, and then, through painstaking work, to one man, Joseph James D'Angelo, a former police officer living a quiet suburban life. His arrest wasn't just justice for his victims, it was a revolution in forensics. It proved that with new technology,
Night train, finding an empty carriage. A man sat a few rows down, his eyes oddly compelling. He smiled and moved to sit across from me, introducing himself as Dr. Reynard, a hypnotist. He offered to show me a hypnosis trick. Skeptical but curious, I agreed. He swung a silver pendant before my eyes. "Just relax," he whispered. My mind grew foggy, his voice the only thing I heard. I awoke feeling strange. Dr. Reynard smiled. "You'll obey my every command now," he said. I nodded, unable to resist. He handed me a note with an address, instructing me to meet him there the next night. The next day, I couldn't fight the urge to go. I arrived at an old building where Dr. Reynard waited with other victims. He revealed he had been hypnotizing people for years, using them for his sinister schemes. As he gave his next command, I bit my lip hard, the pain snapping me out of the trance. Pretending to obey, I bided my time. I noticed a mirror behind him and saw a faint reflection of a young woman, matching the description of a missing person from the news. Using the mirror's distraction, I slipped away and called the police. When they arrived, the building was empty, but I had left a recording device on. They found evidence of his voice, revealing his plans. Dr. Reynard had vanished, but his spell was broken. I returned to normal.
Carlos Mendoza started his morning shift at Peaceful Rest Crematory in Tucson on April 15, 2024, expecting another routine day. He had been operating cremation chambers for 8 years, following the same procedures every time. Load the body, seal the chamber, ignite at 1,800 degrees, wait 3 hours. But that morning something was different. Deep scratch marks covered the inside walls of Chamber 3, gouged into the metal like fingernails clawing desperately. Then he found burn patterns that made no sense, bodies positioned as if they had been moving during cremation. Carlos started checking hospital records and discovered something horrifying. Local hospitals had been declaring terminal patients dead while they were still alive, using paralytic drugs to make them appear deceased. Families received death certificates while their loved ones remained fully conscious but unable to move or speak. The hospitals cleared expensive beds and collected insurance payouts while sending living patients to be cremated. When Carlos opened Chamber 2 mid-cycle, he found a partially burned woman still trying to scream through damaged vocal cords. 89 terminal patients had been burned alive over 18 months.
Mysterious antique mirror from her late grandmother. Curious about the mirror's history, Emily hangs it in her bedroom. That night, Emily wakes to strange sounds coming from the mirror calling her name. Unable to resist, Emily touches the mirror, feeling a cold chill run down her spine. As she peers into the mirror, Emily's reflection begins to move on its own, beckoning her closer. Terrified, Emily tries to turn away, but she finds herself unable to break free from the mirror's hold. Suddenly, Emily's reflection pulls her into the mirror, trapping her in a dark and twisted realm. Emily finds herself with countless other trapped souls, all whispering the same haunting words. Desperately, Emily searches for a way out, but the mirror's grasp grows stronger. Just as all hope seems lost, Emily notices a faint glimmer of light in the distance. Emily follows the light, pushing through until she finds herself back in her own room. Relieved to be free, Emily rushes to remove the sinister mirror from her wall. But as she turns, Emily catches her reflection in the mirror, and she freezes in horror as it winks at her. Emily understands she's trapped in an endless loop, doomed to be the mirror's next victim. As the mirror's whispers grow louder, Emily's screams echo through the empty house.
Tommy screaming from his bedroom. When I rushed in, he was sitting bolt upright in bed, eyes wide with terror. "There's someone watching me through the window," he whispered. I tried to calm him down, telling him it was just his imagination. But when I looked at his second-floor window, I froze. There, in the reflection of the glass, I could see a pale face grinning back at us. The strange thing was, when I turned around to look behind us, there was nobody there. To this day, Tommy refuses to sleep with his curtains open, and sometimes late at night. I swear I still see that face watching us from the darkness.
Until now. As children, we were warned about the day we would turn 21. They said our names held a curse, bound by the Book of the Dead. Ilara and I were inseparable. Our parents named us after powerful deities from ancient texts, believing it would protect us. We laughed it off as a scary story, but the older we got, the more we felt its presence, lurking in the shadows. Our 21st birthday arrived, and with it, an overwhelming sense of dread. We decided to stay together, thinking it would keep us safe. As the clock struck midnight, the air grew frigid. Shadows danced on the walls, whispering our names. Figures emerged from the darkness, their cold hands pulling us towards an unseen abyss. In that moment, something awakened within us, a power we didn't know we had. We fought back, our bond giving us strength. The shadows faltered. We thought we had won. But as we looked at the Book of the Dead, we realized it was never about us being taken. It was about us becoming its guardians. Our fates had indeed been sealed, but not as victims. We were chosen to guard the living from the dark forces. Our names held power, not doom. We embraced our destiny, not...
Congratulations, you've been hired as a night worker at the city zoo. The job itself is simple. Your main responsibilities include monitoring the security cameras and reporting any issues. Walking the grounds every hour to ensure all gates are locked. Checking that the animals have enough water and that their enclosures are secure. But there's a catch. You're not alone in the zoo at night. Something else walks the grounds when the gates are locked. We call them the grievers. To survive until morning, you must follow these rules. Rule number 1, do not walk near the far enclosure between 1:30 and 2 a.m. That is when the grievers prowl. They are not animals you've ever seen, and you do not want to know what happens if they notice you. Rule number 2, if you hear this sound coming from an animal's cage, do not investigate. It isn't the animals inside. The grievers are trying to lure you in. Rule number 3, the grievers hate the light, but never trust the lamps to protect you. If the lights begin to flicker, hide. It means they're already too close. Be careful. No one has made it until morning. Enjoy your shift. Congratulations. You've been hired as the overnight clerk at the Rest Easy Motel. It's quiet here, but there are rules you'll need to follow. Rule number 1, if the office phone rings between 3:10 and 3:15 a.m., don't answer. It'll be your voice on the other end asking to come inside. Rule number 2, no one checks into room 6. If someone asks for it, tell them it's unavailable. If they insist, lock the office door and wait until sunrise. Rule number 3, watch the cameras. If you see anyone in the parking lot without a shadow, shut the monitors off for 10 minutes. Don't watch them leave. Rule number 4, at 4:44 a.m., you may hear knocking from the vending machine. Don't approach. If you look at the glass, the reflection won't be yours. Rule number 5. If the radio behind the register turns on by itself and plays static, unplug it immediately. If you don't, it will start speaking.
Not alone. The clock struck midnight. I lay in bed, silence pressing in. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Hello. No response. Just static. Then a faint whisper. Come outside. Chills ran down my spine. I hung up, heart pounding. Phone buzzed again. Same number. I let it go to voicemail. A notification popped up. I played the message. Why won't you come outside? The voice was clearer, familiar, and unsettling. I peered through my window. The street was empty. A loud crash echoed from downstairs. Grabbing my baseball bat, I went down the stairs. In the kitchen, the back door swung open. A figure stood there, cloaked in darkness. I raised the bat. Who are you? What do you want? The figure stepped into the light. It was me, gaunt and hollow-eyed. I told you to come outside, it rasped. I backed away, tripping and hitting my head. Everything went black. I woke up in bed, drenched in sweat. The house was quiet. Had it all been a dream? In the bathroom, my reflection grinned back at me, eyes hollow.
Was hiking alone when the forest suddenly went silent. No birds, no wind, not even my footsteps. Then I saw a man. His head slowly turned toward me, but his body didn't move. He opened his mouth like he was trying to scream, but nothing came out. Then I heard whispering, his mouth still open. The voice whispered, "You shouldn't have come."
Maria General Hospital. Your job is simple. Make your rounds, check on patients, and most importantly, follow these 7 rules. Especially rule number 7. Rule 1, at exactly 12 a.m., lock the door at the end of the ICU hallway. Not before, not after. That door doesn't lead to another ward. Rule 2, if a monitor beeps in room 302, but the heart rate line is flat, don't go in. Rule 3, at 1:17 a.m., you might see an old man in a hospital gown. He'll ask for water, do not give it to him. The real patient died 3 years ago. Rule 4, if you hear a baby crying from the maternity wing, keep working. No one has given birth there since the fire. Rule 5, the operating room window might reflect another version of you. If she smiles, look down and walk away. Rule 6, at 3:33 a.m., you might hear your name whispered from the ER. Don't respond. Your coworker called in sick tonight. Rule 7, if you break any rule, say softly, "I acknowledge my mistake." It won't happen again, then keep working.